Maybe he just needs to spill coffee on himself again. Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about Game 126 of the regular season, where the Astros win 9-4 over the Boston Red Sox and take the first game of the four-game series behind a absolute massive day behind one of the corner outfielders, and I have but one question for you all. You like Chaz? But before we talk about the Spice Man, we need to talk about the top of the first inning for the Astros, because Christian Javier threw a pitch that was demolished by Adam Duvall for a 3-run home run. I am not going to blame Christian Javier for this, because if you look at Martin Maldonado's glove, he looked at Christian Javier in the eyes and said, throw a fastball directly down the heart of the plate. I'm not putting that on Javier. Maybe I'm wrong for not putting it on him, but I mean, he hit his spot. That's what you ask of pitchers, is you ask them to hit their spot. And he did. So did Duvall. And then in the bottom half of the first inning, it gets more infuriating because the Astros load the bases with no outs and get one run out of it via sac fly to make it 3-1 from Yordan Alvarez. And like, good, that's a positive. It was bases loaded with no outs, guys. But in the bottom of the second, the Astros respond with a vengeance and do not miss those opportunities. Martin Maldonado with an RBI double to make it 3-2. Alex Bregman with an RBI single. Alex Bregman, by the way, we're going to talk about him in a bit, with an RBI single to tie the game at 3. And Yordan Alvarez with an RBI single to give the Astros the lead 4-3. And then Chas McCormick decided, hey, 3-run innings are cool, but what if instead of 3 different people, I took all of the RBIs? A 3-run home run deposited into the Crawford boxes from Chas McCormick to make it 7-3. The Red Sox get one back in the 6th inning via RBI groundout, but then McCormick in the 8th inning decides, nah, 4-run lead is pretty cool. Another homer, his 19th on the season, his second of the game. Chas McCormick, ladies and gentlemen, unbelievable season. Debatably could maybe sneak out an MVP vote or two? Maybe. That would be wild if he got any, but I'm just saying, I'm not saying top 10 or 15, but like, he could get a couple. Maybe he finishes like 20th. That's always a deep list for MVP votes. He could get a couple, and I think he maybe should. Diaz decides that home runs are pretty neato spaghetto and does one himself to put the Astros up 9-4, which would be your final score to go back-to-back with McCormick. The offense was fantastic. 16 hits on the night, 3 walks, 9 runs. They didn't hit 10 runs. I'm not saying they know, but so McCormick is going to get a lot of the buzz tonight, and that's justified. He had a fantastic night. A pair of home runs and 4 RBI will make you the star of a show, but Bregman batting second also deserves that same spotlight. 3 hits for him, reached base all 5 times with a pair of walks thrown in there. Also a pair of runs scored, a double and an RBI for his night. A fantastic evening for Bregman. And then beyond McCormick in the bottom part of the lineup, everyone had multiple hits. McCormick already touched on him, the 2 home runs. Diaz also had a home run, but he had a pair of base hits. Myers had a pair of base hits. Pena had a pair of base hits. Maldonado had a pair of base hits. Everyone 5 and below in the lineup had multi-hits. So now we talk about pitching, and that's where it gets hard to talk about and a little bit convoluted, because Javier, I have a really hard time saying he made a mistake, because the home run that Duvall turned on was exactly where Maldonado had the glove. It is not on Javier that Maldonado decided that he wanted to put it on basically a T in the middle of the strike zone. Now, I'm still not going to say Javier had a great night if you remove that, because he didn't pick up a lot of strikeouts. He gave up 3 walks and only 5 innings of work. Gave up a bunch of hits outside of that. It wasn't a pretty night, but I also have a really hard time putting that home run on him. But even if you remove that, this isn't some gem performance for Javier. It's still just another one of those schlogs that Javier has been full of this season. And I say that with a lot of sadness because, by God, I thought he was going to be the ace of the rotation coming into the season. And now you're almost through August. You're over halfway through it. And his ERA is over 4.5. And I am left speechless at that fact, but here we are. Seth Martinez making his return to the lineup. Gave up a run in his inning of work. Wasn't a pretty inning, but thankfully the Astros had a pretty comfortable lead at that point. The rest of the bullpen was fantastic. Nearest picked up a pair of strikeouts in his inning of work. Brian Abreu looked fine. And then, oddly enough, in the 9th inning, in comes Ryan Presley, despite the fact that he pitched yesterday in the loss, and now pulling a double probably won't see him till Wednesday at the soonest. I would say realistically probably Thursday. And I mean, he pitched fine in the ninth inning, picked up a strikeout, but that just seemed kind of unnecessary to throw him out there. But regardless, the Astros pick up a 9-4 win, take the first game of the series, hopefully start to right the momentum that they just completely fumbled away against the Mariners. Again, that was quite the series, but we're just going to keep on marching with the season. So now the Astros will look to pick up at minimum a series split tomorrow evening, 8:10 Eastern, 7:10 Central. The Astros are going to send Justin Verlander to the mound, and the Red Sox are going to send Tanner Hoke to the mound. I'll be here afterwards to talk about it, but as for right now, that is all I have to say. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Astros.